What's up, everybody? It's Skylar from Hustle Heroes, and welcome to the very first episode of Walk With Me. And today we're going to be covering the importance of educating yourself on nutrition and understanding the impact it has on you and your overall performance. Let's get into it. I have struggled for a very long time trying to learn how to achieve a balanced and sustainable diet to improve my overall performance. And I'd like to share some insights on how I fucked up and also how I got back on track. Because for years I found myself caught in a vicious cycle of unhealthy eating habits. My diet was an exact reflection of my chaotic lifestyles. Quick fixes, fast food, and sugary snacks is what I used to fuel my days with. And being the entrepreneur that I am, consistently shifting from ideas to ideas, building everything that I can to obtain financial freedom, dealing with stress and unrealistic deadlines that I was setting for myself made it all too easy to prioritize convenience over nutrition. And I often turned to food as a reward system for my hard work, indulging in that late night pizza and shit tons of caffeine in the morning to keep me going. But deep down, I knew this wasn't sustainable, nor was it in alignment with who I actually wanted to be. I knew there had to be a better way of living than this. My energy levels were shit, and I struggled with anxiety, ADHD, BPD, and more parties going on upstairs. And I was also sick all the fucking time because I have very young kids who go to school, and anyone with kids knows that school germs are not to be taken lightly. They are a real problem. And statistics in the American diet were also very alarming to me because, according to the CDC, 70% of people are obese or overweight in some way, shape, or form. All of us eating these processed foods in general are linked to a bunch of diseases that many people don't even realize can be managed or completely reversed with better nutrition. One evening while staring at the reflection of my out of shape ass, I had a very big moment of clarity. And I understood that my unhealthy habits were not only harming my body, but also they were sabotaging my fucking entrepreneurial dreams and anything else I wanted to be great at. And I wanted to build a legacy, not just a business. So I needed to be the best version of myself in order to even think about going after this effectively. And the thought of this realization is what became my turning point. And that's when things began to change. Now, the journey of transforming my relationship with food began with educating myself. I started reading books like How Not to Die. I believe that's written by Dr. Michael Greger. That shit opened my eyes to the impact of nutrition and overall health. And the science was compelling too. It's actually the first thing that inspired me to take action that day. And here are some of the things that I did that you can start to do yourself. The first thing is nutritional education. It's so important. I started listening to books like The Whole 30 and Food Rules, and I think that one was by Michael Pollan. And that helped me understand the importance of whole foods. I started to learn how important it is to start reading labels and recognizing hidden sugars and unhealthy fats that I was consuming on a daily basis. The second thing was meal planning. Definitely not my favorite thing to do, but eventually I did set a time aside on Sundays to plan my meals for the week, and I started preparing healthier options in bulk, focusing on lean proteins, whole grains, and plenty of fruits and vegetables. And by the time I was done fixing my plate, it looked like a fucking rainbow, and to be honest, it's a beautiful thing. The third thing, and one of my biggest struggles to overcome, was mindful eating. I adopted the practice of mindful eating, which involved me really enjoying every bite of everything that I ate and paying attention to my actual appetite instead of making oversized plates of food in hopes of it lasting throughout the movie I had planned to watch. Or sometimes I would just binge eat a bunch of fucking food while I was playing Black Ops, and that's terrible. Learning how to think about how I was eating and why definitely helped me develop a much healthier relationship with food. The fourth thing that I did was I upped my physical activity. I started getting more active on a daily basis. And it all started with a simple 30-minute walk and gradually progressed into weight training and yoga. Yes, I said yoga, like stretching and shit. I don't care what you think about me. I stretch my ass out and I work on my breathing and I feel great. However, this road was definitely not without its challenges. At first, I faced intense cravings and I would relapse back into old habits. There were social events that I would go to filled with tempting foods, and I often isolated while friends were just enjoying whatever they wanted to, at the same time as me trying to stick to my goals. One really tough setback happened when I attended a networking event not too long ago where it was packed with unhealthy options. I'm talking about cookies, pizza, my favorite coffee creamers. This was right around Christmas time. And because of the lack of discipline, I started overeating everything like it was the last time I'd ever get a chance to do that again. And that just left me feeling guilty and frustrated, which is never fun. One of my mentors told me one time that I needed to start relying on a support system. He said by recognizing the importance of community, I could reach out to friends who shared similar health goals. And so I did. And now I have a small support group where we all committed to talking on a weekly basis, sharing new ideas, recipes, challenges, and setbacks, holding each other accountable. This network became invaluable to me because it provided the motivation and encouragement that I needed through tough times. Social media also played a major role in this too. I follow nutritionists like Dr. Berg on YouTube. If you haven't heard of him, go check him out. He's great. And other health coaches who inspired me to continue to stick with what I was doing. I also learned how to implement daily practices to maintain my newfound lifestyle. And most importantly, establish daily practices that became non-negotiable for me. For my morning routines, I began each day with a fried egg with goat cheese and avocado on Ezekiel toast to kickstart my energy. And if you don't know about Ezekiel bread or tortillas, you need to, because it's the truth and it will change your life. Another thing my stubborn ass got into doing is gratitude journaling. I kept a journal to reflect on my progress and express gratitude for positive changes in my life. This helped me tremendously because remembering things that I'm grateful for always reminded me of why I'm doing this shit in the first place. And every time that things got hard, my gratitude journal was just a constant reminder of what I truly desired and to keep going. I started doing regular check-ins. I scheduled weekly check-ins with myself to hold myself accountable, adjusting my meal plans as needed. And over the course of a year, the transformation was fucking crazy. My energy levels today are through the roof. I drink 0 coffee. And my anxiety is decreased by at least 80% with 0 medication. I feel more focused in both my personal and business life. I've lost 25 pounds over the past 2 months. And more importantly, my confidence is starting to grow again. And with all the results I've seen on my journey so far, I've realized that I am now an advocate for healthy living for fellow entrepreneurs on the importance of nutrition and achieving your success that you're looking for. And let me tell you from experience, diet is everything. Your diet is everything. And as I'm talking to you about this journey that I've been on, I'm reminded of a powerful quote by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, is that how you say it? That said, you might not control every event that happens to you, but you can control your attitude towards it. This is why knowing yourself is so important. So if you are struggling with these similar challenges, here are some simple steps to help guide you that helped me. The first thing you need to do is you have to educate yourself. You can start with just one book on nutrition. Both How Not to Die and The Whole 30, the books I mentioned earlier, they're both great options. The second thing I would recommend is for you to start setting more realistic goals. Define small, achievable goals, such as cooking 1 new healthy recipe per week, and that's it. Do not overwhelm yourself. This is something I did on repeat. Next, you should create a meal plan. Dedicate a specific time to each week. Plan and prep your meals, because honestly, this is half the battle. Don't be afraid to find a support system. You should be connecting with like friends and join a community online that focuses on healthy living. Because if you continue to stay in the environment that you're currently in, and it's not supportive of you becoming better, it's gonna be really difficult to make, or if not impossible, to make anything stick. So change up the scenery. And most importantly, you should consider learning how to practice mindfulness. It's so important to get in touch with who you really are. And I started with meditation in a VR headset with this app called Trip. That's pretty cool. For just 10 minutes a day, and it's helped me tremendously. I also learned a variety of different breathing exercises to help calm my nervous system down on demand, which I highly recommend getting in touch with. And lastly, I had to learn to be nicer to myself with my internal conversations. I had to remember transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey filled with ups and downs, but every small step counts. So start today and take that first step towards conquering your fears, because you are absolutely capable of achieving remarkable things, and your health is the foundation where dreams can be built. Accept that. I had to learn to accept that. Embrace that it's going to be a journey. And the sooner that you accept and embrace that, watch as you transform not only your diet, but your entire life. Thanks for walking with me today.